All right, so far today you've had a couple speakers all talking about angels and doing meditations, and I decided that it was probably a good thing to end the day with something a little bit more practical, okay? It's all well and good. We all know that angels are wonderful. They're spiritual. We have the archangels, we have guardian angels, we have cherubs, and the list goes on and on. But some people don't call on angels as much as they should. And angels don't step in for us unless it's a life-threatening emergency, okay? We have free will, so unless we ask for their help, they can stand by and watch, and they can't do anything. All right, as I'm going on, if you have any questions, just yell out, raise your hand, jump up and down, whatever it is. Okay.
What was your name again?
It's a good question.
Suesie Hartman. And actually, I even brought brochures and everything.
Wow.
I'm usually at R3 Wellness Center in Collegeville. I don't know, how far is Collegeville from here?
Probably like 45 minutes.
Okay.
40.
Yeah.
About 10 minutes from here.
Okay. I wouldn't know one way or the other at this point. The good news is when I get in the car and I press home, and it takes me.
It takes you home.
All right, so we're talking about the practical side of contacting your angels, okay? I'm sure everybody's heard different stories about things that have happened to people where angels have come down and saved you from this or gotten you out of a mess. I have practical ones. First of all, I drive like Mario Andretti. Okay? Everywhere I drive fast. So I was driving from our home to yoga, and this is about 2 years ago. And I'm driving fast, and it's pouring. It's been pouring the entire day, just torrential downpours. And I'm zooming down the road because I always have to be early for where I'm going. All of a sudden, I'm going about, let's see, the speed limit is 45, so that means I'm going at least 60. And I get a flat tire.
Oh, God.
Okay, so I pull into the nearest, it's a Redner's with mini market, and all of a sudden it stops raining. Sun comes out. Okay, well that's good. But at my age, I haven't changed a tire in like 20 years. I know what to do, but I don't know how to necessarily do it and make it work. So I call my husband, and he's at least an hour away. Okay, well, come over anyhow. So in the meantime, I go in the trunk, and I pull out the spare tire, and I get the jack, and I have everything, and I lean it against the back. It's the right rear wheel. Okay, I'm ready. Out of the blue comes this guy in shorts with a Westchester University t-shirt on. Didn't really notice where he came from. He's like, "Hey, I see you have a flat tire. Would you like me to change it?" "Yes, I would. Thank you." So we're chatting, and he's just an average guy, you know, not overly attractive, not too skinny, just very nondescript. So we're chatting, and he's all done, even put the hubcap on for me. I'm like, okay, good. So I go to the front of the car to get $20 to give him. I get back, and he's gone. There's nobody in sight. I'm looking in the parking lot. I'm looking on the road. He just disappeared. I had an angel come down and change my tire. How cool is that? I still didn't make it to yoga, because by that point it was almost over, but it was the idea. To me, it's the important part of when you're praying, when you're looking for any kind of spiritual help. Let's start with the practical stuff first, okay? All right, so we're familiar with, everybody's got guardian angels. Some of us have more than one. And everybody, well, yeah, you have at least one. People of the Jewish faith think that by the time you are born, you get 10,000 angels, because we need them so much. So, guardian angels, archangels, okay? And there's a huge list of those. We have the big seven, you know, Metatron, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and they all end in EL, in case you didn't know that. Yes, all of them. Even the ones with the funny names, like even the angel of death, what's his, Azrael, everything is EL, everything. There's also a group, 7 groups of angels, and I brought the list along just so I wouldn't forget. Now, keep in mind that as I'm giving you this list of angels, we're talking about probably 100,000 angels or more in each grouping, okay? So let's say that, there's at least a couple people here who have some juice, because I'm definitely feeling the sensitivity, the intuitiveness, and I'm not including you. I'm just looking past you.
Why aren't you including me? Whatever.
Not that you don't have juice, but I'm trying to check everybody else out. You know you have juice. Okay, so when most of us go outside and we're sensitive, we need to be protected. My husband always says it's pull my antenna in so that I don't pick up other people's muck. Okay? And we're being nice today. We're just going to call it muck. Okay? Negative energy. What I do now is I don't go outside of the house without asking the angels of protection to strengthen my shields, to protect me from all of the negative muck that other people might have. Especially, for instance, we go to a farmer's market up in Reading religiously, like once a month, and it's filled with some of elderly people. It's filled with people with a lot of aches and pains. And since I'm a wellness intuitive, all somebody has to do is brush against me and, oh, geez, now I know about their headaches, their toothaches, the fact that they had an argument with their wife right before they left the house. That stuff doesn't matter if I'm never going to see them again. If I can't help them, I don't want to know about it. So it's better to be shielded from this stuff and protected. So I asked for the angels of protection. And let me tell you, they have a big job most of the time when they're protecting me. Because that means I don't want to know about anybody else's muck. I have my own, thank you very much, and I'm used to it. Okay? I can't tell you how efficient these angels of protection are. Now keep in mind that, let's say Greg calls for them for today, okay? And I call for them, and you call for them. There's at least 100,000 of them. So it's not like if Greg and I ask for them at the same time, maybe we'll get back to you in a couple minutes, but we're going to take care of Susie first. No. They don't have any limitations of time or space. So they can help everybody in the room at the same time. And then another couple thousand people on top of that. Okay? So let me just go down through this list of the 7 different groups. They are very, very efficient at what they do because this is all they do. Okay? So we have angels of joy. They help you release negative karma, negative energies. They help improve your behavior. So let's say that you live with somebody who is just so sad or depressed or angry. Send the angels of joy to aggravate the crap out of him and let him, here, work on that guy. Too much for me to deal with. At the same time, you can ask those angels of joy to help insulate you so that you aren't always affected by that negative energy. Okay? Think about it for people that you work with. We don't get to choose who we work with, unfortunately. And a lot of times these people are bringing their baggage and their muck to work every single day. So sick the angels of joy on them. Here, go ahead, take care of these people. It works amazing. Okay? All right. Angels of enlightenment. I use these very often. In fact, I use them on the way down here, just to make sure that what I'm saying in my presentation today made sense to everybody, to make sure that I'm not forgetting any groups or forgetting any key information. Enlightenment comes in many ways, as you all know. So whether it's that pat on the back of the head, whether they come to you in dreams, which happens to a few of my friends, enlightenment comes in a million ways. I've already had people hand me messages or come up to me in Walmart and go, I I have no idea why I need to tell you this, and I don't know what it means, but and then they walk away. Well, thank you very much. I just had a hand-delivered message. It's pretty awesome. So when somebody hands you a message, or they hand you a piece of paper or an article that says, here, you really need to read this, I pay attention because the messages come in a million different ways. All right. Now, I live in Lancaster County, okay? My next door neighbors are Mennonite. We have 5 Mennonite families in our area. And so we have the Amish buggies and all that stuff, okay? The idea that Jehovah's Witnesses would even step foot into our neighborhood is very odd, okay? So for about a week, I had been asking the universe for a particular question. Now, as with a lot of other psychics, we can read for everybody else. But when it comes to something right home, right here, that you need, that's more personal, because there's no detachment, it's hard to get those answers. So here we go. I'm asking. Nothing. Nothing coming through. So this team of Jehovah's Witnesses, 3 women, pull into the neighborhood. Now, our neighborhood consists of 5 streets going this way and 1 this way. It's not a big neighborhood. They pull in, stop at the house. They come right to the house, knocking on the door, and they hand me a brochure. That's one of their, I guess, watchtower things. And there is a line on this brochure that's the answer to my question. Here you go. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, thank you, I got my answer. So I talked to them a little bit. I have to be pleasant, and plus it takes a lot of guts to go to a total stranger and talk about something you believe in. How many of us can do that, right? So I decided to watch them when they left. They didn't stop at a single other house. They came to our house, delivered that brochure, and left. I was like, all righty, I got my message. Thank you. And it was hand-delivered. How good does that get? So my husband's like, Suze, what are you doing? I said, I just got my answer. Remember that question? And I read it to him, and he goes, oh my gosh, what an answer. That's great. And it was a positive one on top of it. So anyhow, messages and answers come in a million different forms. So just stay awake and keep your eyes open, okay? Angels of healing. All right. I'm an intuitive healer. I do a lot of energy healing. And I do have my own team of different shaman and Reiki masters and other energy workers that always come with me when I work on someone. And I do call in Archangel Raphael, because as we know, he's the top man when it comes to healing. But if you have someone who, and I say this in the most loving way, if I have a client on the table who's a train wreck, I'm going to need a lot of help. So I call in the angels of healing, and it is amazing how many times the client will be like, normally they'll say, oh, I felt like 6 or 8 different hands, and I could see shadows of different beings around me, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, that's normal, at least for my healings anyway. And when I call in the angels of healing, they don't even think about trying to put any kind of a number on it. They're just sitting there and they're just grinning from ear to ear. They're like, that is so amazing. There's not an ache or a pain in my whole body. How cool is that? So I recommend, even if you're not an energy worker or anything like that, call in the angels of healing. For anything. I mean, you get a paper cut and it's in your dominant hand. Hey, call them in. It works. They work magic. Okay? So now we've had joy, enlightenment, healing. Angels of guidance. They got us here today. We won't even talk about what the GPS had. They had us so full. I turned it off 4 times today. So Angels of guidance, because I told him point blank, if you want me here, then you better work on it, because we're cutting it really close, okay? We're here. Angels of guidance, they can guide you for practically anything. Since I have no personal sense of direction, if you asked me which way north was, I don't have a clue. Doesn't matter. I ask the angels of guidance and they get me to where I need to be. When I'm doing spiritual counseling and I'm trying to select the most appropriate words to try and help someone, to counsel them, to maybe turn them in a different direction a little bit, I'm always asking for help from the angels of guidance. And it is amazing the things that come out of my mouth. And I know it's not me, because I couldn't think that well. I couldn't think that diplomatically all the time. The angels just have a way of getting that information in, and I'm a good channel. So if the information's there and they're sending it, I'm receiving it, and I can spit it out with the best of them. So, all right, so that's another really strong one. Angels of peace. Now, think about this carefully. How many people here could actually say that they're at peace? You're completely calm, content, and happy right where you are right now. All right, 2. Okay. All right, that's good. I can do that probably 50% of the time, maybe. All right, 2 out of a whole room, though. All right. For the rest of us, that peace might still be just a little bit out of our reach. Calling on the angels of peace is amazing. Let's say that you've had an argument or a discussion, loud discussion, with your spouse or your partner, and you can't get to sleep now because it's still rattling around in your head. Call on the angels of peace. Explain to them, look, I can't get any sleep until you take this away and help me calm down and reach a nice level of... It is amazing how fast that happens. I love that part. All right, angels of peace. Gotta love those. All right, last 2 on this list, angels of love. Anybody here who's looking for the perfect partner, they're the ones to talk to, okay? But be specific. I don't know if anybody's heard the story. There was a woman who had this in her mind. She was going to get married. She was going to marry the perfect man, her soulmate. And she was going to live in this white little Cape Cod with a white fence. This is what she had in her head. So she kept praying to the universe, find me the perfect person to love. Okay, that leaves a lot open. She didn't necessarily find a perfect partner. What she ended up doing was adopting a child. She's very happy, but she didn't quite get what she asked for because she wasn't specific enough. Now, I come from an Italian family where I was always told, be specific. How are you going to tell somebody, how do you expect somebody to know what you want if you don't tell them? So my husband could tell you very easily when I say, Jay, I want this, 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 and this. Here's the list and here's where to go to get them. If I don't tell him those things, he's going to come up with something else. Okay? So you have to meet a happy medium. Okay? Obviously, when that woman said someone to love, she wasn't specific about saying, I would like a life partner. All right? But then you get the kind of, and I have a client like this, well, he must be 6'2" and he must have black hair just graying at the temples and blue eyes and he has to make 6 figures and we must live here and da-da-da-da, and the list is like this long. I'm thinking that's a little bit too specific. So there's a happy medium there, okay? Got to get at least the basics in there, you know, male or female. You need to let them know, you know, because you don't want the universe to fill in the blanks, okay? All right, last one. And we've talked about this one from the beginning. Angels of protection. I think if I had to pick the ones that I choose to call on the most, it's protection, healing, and guidance. Because sometimes I just want to make sure that what comes out of my mouth is appropriate and that people will understand it. So, all right, any questions before I jump to something else? No? No questions? All right. All right, now, we talked about the idea that for angels there are no limits of time and space. So if you ask for them to do something at whatever time it is, and I ask for the same kind of help at the same time, there's no problem because they can help us both along with 10,000 other people at the same time, and nobody's going to get shoved to second place or anything, okay? Let's think about the way that we turn things over to let the angels help us, okay? First, we have to get them engaged. We have to ask for their help. And again, this is all about free will. So if I'm in a situation like with the flat tire, I asked for help from anybody who could give it, okay? Angels, saints, ascended masters, Reiki masters, anybody in the whole universe who wants to come and help change my tire, I'm open for it. Just so happened an angel came by, all right? Now, it's one thing to ask for help. It's a whole other thing to stand back and let them do their job, okay? Ladies, how many of you know someone else? I have a lady down the street. She's a neighbor of ours. She decided that she wanted her husband to help her with the housework. So she handed Scott the vacuum cleaner and she said, "Here, go vacuum that room." And he did. Picked up the dust, picked up the dog hair. She didn't like the way he did it because he didn't leave the track so that you could see that it was just vacuum. So she said, "Well, why don't you do it again?" So Scott, trying to be a nice guy, did it again. She walked in, she's like, "Nope, that's it. Just give me the damn sweeper and I'll do it myself." Do you think Scott ever ran the sweeper for her again? No. If somebody's going to help you, let them. Okay? That means surrendering and turning it over. So if I ask you to help me with, I don't know, let's say you're going to help me do my taxes, okay? Because I personally, if I dug in my purse, I can show you, I carry a calculator wherever I go. All right? Because I have trouble adding 2 and 2 and 2. Okay? So if I ask you to do my taxes for me, and I'm looking over your shoulder, when's the next time you're going to do my taxes for me? That's it, exactly. But if I ask you, and then when they're done, I go, "Thank you so much," whether or not I get a tax refund or not. Okay? Because I didn't say, "Could you please do these and make sure I get $1 billion back?" Okay? Same thing when we're asking angels to help us. We have to put it in their hands and leave them do the work. We're not going to stand there and tell them how to do their jobs. Or, you can only do this on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's not going to work. They don't work by our rules. So letting it go, letting it surrender. Yes?
Wait a minute. I got to give them a specific time. I got to say, I want this sign within 24 hours. Because if I don't ask for it, I may not get it for 2 years. So I found out that they like to play tricks. And so I'm lawyer-like. I want to know it within 24 hours. But sometimes they tell me, and it doesn't dawn on me until I get home, holy Christ.
Okay.
But yeah, I got to be specific with it.
I can understand that. Yeah, the Italian in me understands wanting to know right this instant. I get that.
Well, I give them 24 hours.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sometimes I don't even get them that long. Oh, no. If you heard the conversations I have with the universe and the angels when I'm driving, it wouldn't be pretty some days. So I understand that. But it's human nature. You want your answer when you want your answer. And if not an answer, how about a signal that it's coming? All right? For those of you who might have been Catholic at some point in your lives, I can say that I've been Catholic a long time. Not any longer, but a long time. Saint Teresa, when you say that prayer to her, you get roses. You know, if you say the novena for 14 days and they're going to give you a positive answer, somebody hands you a rose or you get a card with a rose or whatever. Never fails. If you're going to get an answer from her that you want, you get a rose. So there's that time frame again. So if it's okay, it fits in the novena, shouldn't be any reason why you can't do this. So the next thing is letting it go and not thinking about it again. Now that's the tough part. Let's say that, and this would not be the first time I've asked for more business, okay, for my energy healing or my psychic readings or whatever. So I turn it over to the angels. Particularly, I've been turning it over to Archangel Michael, who has boosted my the number of clients that I see in a week. He has doubled that. But it's the idea of Michael. It's Saturday. What are you doing? The schedule looks a little light for Monday. What's the problem here? No. Turning it over means turning it over. It means not worrying about it and not questioning how he's doing his job or if he's doing his job. It's not reminding, hey, look, it's Monday. I really don't have a heavy schedule here. What's going on? No. You need to let the angels do their job. Not always the easiest thing in the world. One of the big things that I do before I start the day, even before I check my email, which is something I'm pretty religious about, is I like to set the intention for the day. There's an Indian prayer that says basically, may I be a blessing to all those I come in contact with, in one way or the other. May I radiate peace and understanding, which is not an easy thing either. If you set the intention, and they use this example, which I was reading it and I'm looking at it going, really? Let's say that you work in an office. And let's make it even worse, that you're a customer service rep. So you get 400 calls a day, okay? But you have this huge project that has to be done in 2 business days. Well, how are you supposed to get it done if you're constantly on the phone saying, hi, may I help you? Okay? So ask your angels at the beginning of the first day, could you screen my calls? Unless it's really something that the world is going to stop spinning, have them call me tomorrow. But give me a solid 2 hours of no phone calls so that I can put a dent in this. I can't tell you how many times when I worked in insurance, I would do that, and people were looking at me, because we sat in little cubicles, it's like a whole football field of cubicles. And they'd be looking at me going, do you have your phone off the hook? No, don't have my phone on. Call me, chat. And they'd buzz me. Oh, you don't have your phone off the hook. But for 2 solid hours, not a single phone call. Of course, 2 minutes after that 2 hours, bing, this goes crazy. Because you can't be in customer service or anything like that and ask to not have phone calls all day. But setting that intention and saying, I need 2 hours so that I can really devote to just doing this project. Turn that into anything, and give the intention, put it out there for the universe, put it out there for the angels to help reinforce what you're doing. So if you decide that today is my day, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to the spa, I'm going to meet my friend for lunch, and then I'm going to home and take a nap. It's all about me today. Okay, put it in the hands of the angels and ask them to keep you safe, protect you from anybody else's muck, and help you have an uninterrupted and nice nap. How wonderful would that be? It's a matter of just asking and being clear about what you want. So you're looking at me like I'm a little off. What are you thinking?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm just listening.
Okay. I can see the wheels turning. I can see that. All right. Now, one of the big things that people ask me when you're working with angels, and we're trying to make it more practical. Let's make it as practical as it can be. Let's ask the angels to help you increase your business. But you need to be specific about that. So, for me, I do healing. So as I'm talking to the angels, I obviously go right to the angels of healing, and I say, hey, you know what? Next week does look a little light. I'm putting you guys in charge of scheduling. So could you please direct anyone who might benefit from my healing, my energy sessions, or my psychic readings? Could you just get them on the schedule? Bring them over here and we'll take care of it. You'd be amazed how many times my phone is ringing. People from out of the, oh, you know what? I had your brochure from about a year ago, and today I decided to call you. Really? How nice is that? It happens, and it happens more than I can tell you. So for anybody who wants a little bit more business, just think about how you can tweak exactly what you're saying, okay? Because you want to make this as practical as possible. Angels can help you with finances, your career. A big one for me is pointing out opportunities. How many of us stand in our own way when it comes to addressing an opportunity, looking at it and going, you know, that would be a really good thing for me. I should actually look into that. Instead of going, and then forgetting about it until it's too late. Okay? They can help you, obviously, with your search for a partner. They help me all the time from not yelling at my husband. They even help me with our animals. Now, I do have to say, since I am an animal communicator and I can hear what they're saying, I'm a step ahead of a couple people. But someone like Doreen Virtue, who is really pretty big when it comes to working with angels, she's one of the first ones who will tell you that all of your pets have their own angels too. They have like their own guardian angels, which is pretty interesting. I get a chuckle out of that. So let's say that I'm working with a dog. In fact, I did this past week. I worked on this little dash hound. He was a miniature, it's like 10 pounds. His whole body is as big as my dog's head. I have a Siberian Husky. And so I was holding him and I'm flowing Reiki to him, and I could feel that he wasn't the only dog in the room. So I'm looking around, and didn't he have a little dog? It was like a Dalmatian, which was interesting. A Dalmatian with, you could almost picture funny wings on him. So it was like a dog angel. It was just interesting to see. So when I'm working with an animal to help heal them, I'm also helping and asking their particular guardian angel for help also, so that it's both of us working together to heal the animal, which is pretty cool. Little guy was out hopping all around and running around like a nutcase after we were done, which was good because he was in a lot of pain from back surgery. So, okay. What questions do you have for me so that we can keep this all in line? We don't want to keep anybody too late. Yes?
You're asking the angels of protection to shield you from negative energy. You have to do that every day, or is that just a one-time?
Oh, no. Every day. Every day. And I do it right before I leave the house.
Okay.
Or, what day is it for us? Tuesdays. Tuesdays are the day that we run tons of errands. Take my husband to the doctor, go here, go there, do grocery shopping, and I'll just, right from the start, protect me no matter where I'm going or what I'm doing or who I'm coming in contact with, to protect me from their muck because I have enough of my own.
I'm interested in this concept of calling in the masses. Like when you say you call in angels of protection or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I work with Michael.
Mm-hmm.
I work with Raphael. I know these guys.
Yeah.
You know, I recognize their energy. I'm trying, I'm forming a relationship with them. So if we're saying, angels of protection come and help me, then do they change? How do you recognize their signature? How do you know, how interactive is the experience with the masses?
Ah, great question. And you're right. With the different archangels, they have a signature energy, okay? Michael showed up in our bedroom one night, which was pretty funny, because I'm like, hi, why don't you show me your wings? He's like, no, you don't understand. Our bedroom's only 13 feet long. He's like, no, my wings would just burst out your walls. I'm like, okay. When I call in the angels of protection, it almost feels like a big continuous hug. I guess that's the easiest way. And let's say I go to someplace like, okay, we'll go back to the farmer's market where there's a lot of elderly and a lot of people who are infirmed, okay? Not only do I feel that hug, but I can almost feel like they're just keeping things away from me. So as I'm walking, it's almost like, could you please just move away? Let her walk right down here so that nobody bothers her and nobody comes in contact with her. Does that make any sense for you?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And you'll notice for each of the different groups, it's just a little bit different.
If we're calling in content experts, who am I to say who they are? Just bring them.
Yeah. And the idea, you may not always get that same group of angels as you do when you're working with a particular, whether it's Raphael or Uriel or any of the archangels. But knowing that the whole group is at our disposal is pretty flippin' cool when you think about it. I could use an extra couple thousand angels to help out. All right. Yes?
Yeah, do you have like a website for someone like me who's Greek and can't take in all the 10 different types of angels? What was the first one? The second I got, but who was the first one again? The Joy.
Yes.
The second one.
Yes.
Who was the second one?
I'll tell you what I'll do. I have some brochures here. All right? Send me an email and I'll send you the list.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay? And I'll do that for anybody. Doesn't matter. Just here's my brochures, send me an email, and I will send you the list. And it has all the different things on it, when to call them, but it's pretty self-explanatory. But it's a good list to remember.
Yeah, okay.
I wish there was some wonderful acronym for it, but no. I tried and it was just gibberish. So. All right, any last questions? Yes.
I have a comment. I enjoy playing with my angels, and I just realized that I only play with them in one particular situation. And in the wintertime, I'm in a doubles tennis group, and I'm the only female, and it's all men except for me, and they're all over 75 years old. And so I feel very special and honored that they would let me into their little circle.
Mm-hmm.
But there is the unspoken rule that we do not complain about our aches and pains.
Okay.
Right? And I had a pulled shoulder, but I could not say I'm not coming because my shoulder's pulled, because they're barely moving around the court. So that's not allowed. All right.
Okay.
One of them will even serve underhand when his shoulder hurts, but you don't say my shoulder hurts.
Okay.
And so in this particular situation, I was trying to serve, and my shoulder was flared up, and I started asking my angels to help. And then that moved into every time I missed a serve, I would say, oh yeah, I forgot to ask you guys, come on, let's play. And so that's the one place that I always used them. And for some reason, I just noticed sitting here that I never invited them in other places, even though I have songs of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I do on a subconscious level, but certainly consciously, I don't consciously say something as I'm going out.
Yep.
But they play tennis with me all the time.
See, that's a good thing, and I'm sure they're having a blast with it. But it's good to remember, you can ask for the angels' help for doing anything, okay? Cleaning my basement, let me tell you. When we had our family room renovated, where did everything go? The basement. Prior to that, our basement was so pristine, we had parties in our basement, okay? Then all of a sudden, my husband comes back out from the hospital, and he goes down the basement, and he's like, oh my God, there's just stuff piled, and furniture, and end tables, and 62 lamps, and Suze, you got to do something about this. Okay, that's wonderful. Now, how am I going to do this? Because this is a daunting task. I asked the angels. I'm like, okay, let's get to work here, you know. We go down there and we do an hour or two, and I don't leave the basement because I'm one of those women when I clean. Okay, I'm going to start in this room, and then, oh, well, you know, I have to take this, and it goes into this room. And then while I'm in here, oh, well, I need to do this. And so, you know, 62 things get done, but they're all spread around, so you can't really tell that anything got done. So I stay in the basement for an hour or two, and it is amazing. I get twice as much done when the angels are helping me. You know, I'm famous for, like, we had this elliptical, I had to think of the name, still in the box. Well, that means I have to take it up the 7 steps out of the basement and the 7 steps back up to the living room to get it out the front door because we were going to sell it. And my husband's not, at the time, he wasn't in any shape to help me. All right, let's go. I need some angels. I am not strong enough to pick this up and take it up all these steps myself. I got it up and I didn't hurt myself. It's like, so, last thing I have to say is, ask your angels for help for anything. Doesn't matter what it is, because they are going to jump in and be more than happy to help you. Okay, there you go.
Thank you. And how much gratitude do you give to your angels on a daily basis?
All the time. I'm always thanking them. Wait, I mean, as soon as we pulled in, because it was like we made the turn, there it is. Oh, you guys are awesome. You know? So I will leave these with you. They both have stickers on the back with the stuff from R3.
Okay.
And my emails. Or just put them in back. Okay, excellent. Stop.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's interesting because everyone has their own way of doing things, and that's why I wanted to ask her too about the gratitude, because she's much more assertive than some people, but she's still also always thankful, even though she's giving them all these crazy tasks to do. That not because I mean for me, and usually when there's a thought in my head, it's shared with some other people. Like I'm listening to Suesie talk, and I'm like that's crazy. I'm not going to ask angels to like come clean my basement with me. Like what? You know, like it sounds crazy, but I know this though. I mean, everything that you're saying, I know, and it's my own blocks of like how can I ask these beautiful beings to help me do like these tiny little mundane things? It seems beneath them, but that's a human thing. That's such a human thing to put something in an order and say something is beneath something else. They love us and they love helping us, and it doesn't matter how they're helping us.
Right. And they want us to have peace of mind. So they knew that, for instance, my basement being a mess was driving me crazy because I kept thinking about it. Oh, I should be doing this instead, but I'm not cleaning my basement. So it was in their best interests to help me so that I could have peace of mind to work on whatever it was I was supposed to be working on. So that's always the goal, is for them to be helping us be peaceful and get to that point where we're more content and filled with love. I'm going home.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon. I'll talk to you later, okay?
Okay, thanks, Suesie. Yeah, so that's a perfect, beautiful closing message, to wrap up our day, is the idea that the angels are always with us, always willing, waiting, and wanting to help us no matter what it is. And we're the ones that put ideas in our head and decide what they could and couldn't do or should and shouldn't do, and put the limitations on things. And this is a good way to relate, because when you really love someone, it doesn't matter what you're doing to help them, you just love helping them. And that's the same unconditional love that comes from angels. They just love helping us. It doesn't matter how they're helping us. So just keep that in mind. Any little thing, you can ask for help.